Ladies and gentlemen, it gives you great pleasure to hear me speak to you today. I'm going to share with you an amazing story. About 40 years ago, my wife and I, we owned a health food store. There was a lovely man who used to come into the store. And every time he came into the store, we had a nice conversation. One day he came into the store, and I said to him, oh, he was a doctor. He was a doctor. So I said to him, doctor, I read in the newspaper that 1 out of 4 people in the United States is mentally unbalanced. What do you think of that? So he thought for a minute. But before I go on with this story, I'd like all of you to look to your left. Everyone look to your left. And now, everyone look to your right for a moment. Now, if the people on your left seem okay, and the people on your right seem okay, then you're the one. Well, to continue with the story, I said to him, 1 out of 4 people are mentally unbalanced. What do you think of that? He said to me, that's not true. Everybody in the United States is mentally unbalanced. Everybody in the world is a little bit crazy. That's why we're here. We're here to be fixed, you know. And when you look around, a lot of people have to be fixed. People are walking around, they're feeling like dogs, they're thinking like logs, they're acting like they're in a fog. Everyone's running to doctors. Everyone's running to psychiatrists. Psychiatrists are running to psychiatrists. You know, I have to tell you this. Anyone who goes to a psychiatrist should have their head examined. Isn't that right? You go to a psychiatrist. You should have your head. Well, so what's causing all of this? The basic cause of illness is unhappiness. And the greatest healer is joy. Joy is the great healer. So I want to share with you an amazing story, how joy was a healer. There were a group of scientists in Columbus, Ohio, at Ohio State Medical School. And these scientists decided that they were going to find out once and for all what caused hardening of the arteries. So what they did was, they were 95% sure that they knew. It was a high-fat, high-sugar diet. But they wanted to be 100% sure. So they gathered together a large bunch of rabbits, about 100 rabbits. They fed these rabbits the kind of a diet that you can get at any Wendy's or Burger King, McDonald's, any fast food restaurant. And after the rabbits were on this diet for about 3 weeks or so, they then decided they're going to sacrifice the rabbits. And the way you sacrifice rabbits is you take a saw, an electric saw, and you go zip, 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 zip. You sacrifice 100 rabbits very quickly. And they examined the rabbits' arteries, and they found that all the rabbits did have hardening in the arteries except one small group of rabbits. They seemed to have been spared the ravages of this terrible diet. So this threw these researchers into chaotic confusion. They couldn't understand it. How could this be? They had to find the variable. What was different? The only thing they could find was that there was a young female graduate student, and this young girl loved rabbits, and so before she fed the rabbit, she'd take a rabbit out of the cage, and she'd hold the rabbit, and she'd talk to it, and she'd pet it, and she'd stroke it, and she'd kiss it and love it, and then she'd put the rabbit back into the cage and give the rabbit this high-fat, high-sugar diet. Well, the researchers knew this couldn't possibly have anything to do with what had happened. So researchers decided to do what researchers do, and that is run the test over again. They ran the test a second time. It came out the same way. All the rabbits had arterial sclerosis except that one small batch of rabbits. These researchers they couldn't understand it because now they had 2 experiments which they couldn't explain. So they decided they'll run this test one more time, and 3 times running it came out the same way. They all had arterial sclerosis except this one small batch of rabbits. They couldn't understand it, but I'll tell you what it means to you. It means to you that if you're going to go into a fast food restaurant and you're going to have a high-fat, high-sugar diet, before you eat that diet, you want to stand up with your spouse or with your significant other, and you want to hold one another and talk to one another and pet them and stroke them and kiss them and love them and feel them and caress them. And don't go any further because you'll just be frustrated. But you will have a good measure of protection against hardening of the arteries because of the joy that you were experiencing. So I'd like to leave you with an exercise. And this is the exercise. Try this at home in the mirror. That's where you're supposed to do it. I want you to sing with me. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Okay. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Thank you.
Who are you?